Stop playing with me. Josie, why are you even writing books like this?
Because it's the best friend, I can just never give it a 5-star.
Which now when I hear that song, I do think of the Kringle Killer.
Mary is a psychopath, okay?
My happy place. Even though it's so disturbing, I read like 15 chapters on the first day. This was a very strange yet interesting read. And to be pregnant by the person that assaulted you is just outrageous.
It's December, it's busy. All we can do is our best.
This is just not a good book for the anxiety babe.
So I found a bookstore, of course.
I was just like, are you kidding me?
I'll show you guys that and then we can be on our merry way.
Friends, how are you? I hope that you are doing well. I am having an amazing start to my holiday season. Everything minus the camera debacle. It's working today and I can give you guys an update. So I did start reading Twice on Christmas. It is a thriller themed Christmas book, and I'm actually buddy reading this book with a fellow booktuber, Kayla. Love her. Oh my god, it's been so much fun reading this book with her because her channel is primarily thriller, suspense, and mystery. So if that's your vibe, if that's your genre, definitely you should be giving her channel a look over. You should follow her, all that good stuff. And I realized like a lot of the thrillers that I loved or ate up or really enjoyed, she has liked them as well. So obviously thrillers are not my primary genre, but the ones I do read, her and I do have a very similar reading taste. So we were like, you know what? Let's tackle our first thriller Christmas book together. I love this for us. I really do. It's been interesting. It's been disturbing. Not the interactions with her, the book. Everything with her has just been great. But yeah, this book is definitely very disturbing. I cannot believe we're pairing this type of content with Christmas. But what I will say is even though it's a very sensitive content topic, there is a heavy, not heavy, but there is a religious undertone, which I do appreciate. The main character, Rose, she's actually assaulted leaving choir rehearsal. So let's go ahead and give a synopsis. So basically we have a serial killer on the loose who assaults women twice on Christmas. It's very much like the title, once on Christmas Eve, once on Christmas Day. This is just not a good book for the anxiety babes. Let's just say that. It's like, oh my god, I am so paranoid. Reading this book, like I already think this type of stuff, I'm always looking over my shoulder anyway, and then you go read a book like this, it's like, girl, what are you thinking? But even though it's so disturbing, I read like 15 chapters on the first day, so I was like, this book is crazy, but I am invested to know what's gonna happen, how this is gonna work out. Like those first 15 chapters, you get so much. We get to know why serial killers kind of become serial killers, what things motivate them to do this, when they take breaks, why they take breaks. And I just found that kind of interesting, just to explore the dynamics of why they're doing what they're doing and why they take breaks. But anyway, he basically attacks women and there's no rhyme or reason. He is horrible. He's a really horrible person because he will attack young people. Rose was younger. Or he will attack older people as old as like 70. So the guy's nuts. Oh, it's snowing out. Oh my god, I love that for me. Oh, I love little snow flurries. But anyway, so Rose was leaving choir rehearsal. There was going to be like a show that they were going to be putting on at the church that evening. She was like really wanting to get home really quickly, so she cut through a part. She was then assaulted. Then obviously we follow her journey through recovery. As she's going through recovery, she ends up finding out that she is indeed pregnant. And so that's just the basic synopsis of the book. Don't want to give away too much. Because she's a victim, you get the option to have updates throughout the years until they catch the person. And so she likes updates, and I'm just like, oh my god, we get it. Just say he's still out there doing stuff. Like, I don't need any details. And it feels very obvious who the person might be, but I'm not sure because I've never read a book by this author, McGarvey Black, but in chapter 1, they were already cutting up. I'm like, oh, okay, I see you cutting up. So like, okay, I don't know their writing style. That's why I'm bringing up the author. This is my intro to the author. Never even heard of this author. And so it's like, we kind of already know who the serial killer might be, but maybe not, because now I'm almost 150 pages in. I'm going to start chapter 25 and we're having new characters introduced. So I'm not really sure, but for a while there, it looked like as the reader, we knew who the serial killer was, but no one in the town or none of the main characters did. I really like Rose's parents. They're very supportive. You want to feel like, oh my God, they're just like coddling her, but then you have to remember she's been through something extremely traumatic. Then to be pregnant by the person that assaulted you is just outrageous. She does decide to keep the baby. I don't know if I said that. That's not a spoiler. That's in the synopsis. So anyway, I love her parents. I love how they support her. They don't pressure her. They're just there to love her and usher her towards healing, which I absolutely love. They knew, like, even the day something happened, they're like, she would have been home by now. She's still not home. So you guys all need to rally around us and help us find our daughter. So I'm gonna actually reach out to her, see where she's at, and then we'll go from there. But those are my initial thoughts on Twice on Christmas. And then I am also reading One Day in December by Josie Silver. I am also reading this as a buddy read with a Instagram book buddy. Love her. I didn't even know until recently that she had a channel, so I do need to check her channel out. But I just know that she started following me on Instagram, and then I followed her back, and we've just had this great connection. She always comments on my videos. She's a very sweet person. I love her energy, love her vibe, and I am very excited to check out her channel as well. So I can't say what her primary genre is. She's good peeps, she's good vibes, she's good energy. Books that I've read and that she's read, we've had similar outlooks, thoughts, and opinions on those books. And I was like, you know what? Let's buddy read it together. Why not? I'm gonna be very brief with this one in my initial thoughts because I have already read it and I'm having the same problem. Quick little synopsis. Lori basically is on this double-decker bus. It's a situation where it's insta love, so if that's not your jam, you won't like the book. She sees this guy through the window and she's like head over heels. That is not the part that bothers me. I thought it was kind of cute, whatever. Again, this is a fictional world. It's what you expect and see in Christmas books. So what bothers me, okay? We're still giving the synopsis here. She sets a New Year's resolution. She wants to find this guy, right? Book does span over, is it 10 years or 10 chances? So it spans over, yeah, 10 years. Okay, so lots of missed opportunities, but then they do meet each other. Get this. Her best friend is dating him. So the day that she ends up meeting this guy, he ends up being her best friend's boyfriend. Stop playing with me, Josie. Why are you even writing books like this? So I was just like, are you kidding me? So what bothers me, and it's bothering me again, is this is your best friend. This is the guy that you've been looking for a year or something crazy like that, a year or two at this point, I don't remember. Why don't you just tell her that this is that Jack? This is the guy that you saw and fell in love with. It drives me crazy. Again, this is not a spoiler. We know from the book, that's the story. She falls in love with this guy. He's with the best friend. She doesn't get to tell him, so they have all these missed opportunities. And I'm just like so uncomfortable reading it though, because you know that there's a connection. You know that she likes him. We felt it, we saw all that, especially for her to make it one of her New Year's resolutions. Come on now. So it's just like, would you just tell her already? It's so annoying. I'm still having a good time. I still do like the book, but I think that's what it was for me. The fact that you don't have enough respect, dignity, or integrity to tell your best friend who this guy is, and then you want to move a certain way behind her back. No, maybe you guys are not doing certain things, but like, it's still emotional cheating, you know? And it's like boundaries and lines are being crossed emotionally, and just I don't know about all that. I'm actually on page 84. But anyway, I have to see where she is, but we will be reading this book in today's video as well. Tristan's so excited. So she just got her a brand new card, and I have an appointment basically in like an hour. So I'm so early. So I found a bookstore, of course, because I'm early. Why not look for some books? I've never been to this one. I should buy it just for the edges. My happy place. And of course I found something. Never fails. Finally back with a book update. So we're both almost done. I kind of want to crank this out and finish it tonight. If not, then I'm just going to crank it out and finish it tomorrow. So Rose, Little Miss Rose, is that her name or is that the mother's name? The daughter's name is Mary. Mary is a psychopath, okay? But she has this teacher who thinks, oh, she's just quirky, she's just different. Her dad's a serial killer, but we really don't know. She's being evaluated and things like that. We, meaning me and Kayla,
have the exact same thoughts about this book. It's one of those books where it's like a complete disaster. Like, it's kind of bad, but it's so good. Like, you can't not want to pick it back up. It's so disturbing. And it's just like, okay, is something else gonna happen? Oh, and it hasn't. So that's why we're just kind of like, let's just wrap this up and get this knocked out.
I have finally finished Twice on Christmas. Me and Kayla actually rated it basically close to the same. So before I get into like the rating, our general thoughts, they were actually the same. So I absolutely love that for us. Let us get into things that I liked and I did not like about this book. There was so much real estate talk, which is really cool because Kayla is actually a real estate agent. I also aspire to be a real estate agent. I don't even know if she knows that, but yes, that was like on my vision board for this year. I wanted to take my exam. Last year I actually took the class, and you have to take the test in a year or it expires, and so it expired. I should be shamed, right? But life started taking a different course, and I was like, you know what? I need to focus on some other things. So that is definitely still something that I would love to get into. So I was very much interested and involved whenever like the real estate talk came up, because Rose was actually a real estate agent and she had clients and showings, and so I really liked that part of the book. I love the suspense. I love like the creepy vibes. I mean, it is a thriller. Once I was done with the book, I was telling everyone about it. I told my husband, I told my daughter, I told my sister, I told some coworkers. Like, there was even a client in there because I'm like a salon manager at a hair salon, and so there was like a client in there. She was like, "Oh, that sounds good," and I was like, it's that type of book where it's like, it's not this well-written great book that I'm about to recommend to all these people. However, it is so entertaining. I think it's achieving what it set out to do. But yes, I did like that it had very small holiday moments. So I mean, it is Christmas time, so there's like hanging up of a tree, mention of certain Christmas songs, which now when I hear that song, I do think of the Kringle Killer. I'm not gonna spoil what song it was. You guys just have to like read it. I'm not recommending it, but if you do read it, then you'll know. And the only reason I'm not recommending it is because, like I said, it is a disturbing topic to read about. I did really love the look into why serial killers start to kill, why they take breaks and different things like that. The reasons that they take breaks were very interesting to me. Most serial killers are regular everyday people, and so it's just very weird and very strange. They try to live like a normal life, but then that feeling of wanting to kill, it just never goes away for them. And so no matter if they take a few months off, a few years off, they still end up wanting to commit that crime again, and then they do. So what I did not like, there were some plot holes that I felt like, what happened with this character, and you know, why was this character so creepy, but then there was nothing around that character. So definitely some plot holes. It did feel very repetitive at times. There did need to be something else going on in the story to make it better. There were moments where there was like nothing happening, so it felt kind of boring. It felt kind of meh. It felt like, when is something going to happen? Although it's not the best book, it's very entertaining. Like, this is a bizarre story. This is wild. It is mind-blowing. And if you heard this story on the news, or if you saw a movie like this, it would just be very disturbing and it would blow your mind. So for me, I felt like it was like 3.25, 3.5 book. It's still corny like a regular Christmas book, but it's so traumatic. It's so disturbing. It's so entertaining. It's not the best written book, but for some reason it still pulls you in and you want to know, how is this going to turn out? It's just a lot going on, and it's also nothing going on. It's just like, okay, Mr. McGarvey, this was a very strange yet interesting read. There was a revelation that happens at the end of the book, and I just felt like we didn't need that little bit. Like, that bit, it just could have been cut. We didn't need it. It did not add to the story. It just did not make me happy for that particular character. But yeah, so I ended up giving it a 3.25, 3.5, but it's really just a 3-star book. And that's what Kayla said. She had very similar thoughts to me. She gave it a 3 stars. She's like, you know, I was entertained while I read it, but definitely not something I'm gonna recommend. And I feel the exact same way. Oh, and that was another thing. We were not happy with buddy reading Twice at Christmas. We're like, we need a do-over. So we are gonna read another book together. And she said that we can try my genre lit fic. So I'm so excited for that. So we'll probably buddy read something else probably in the new year. Nonetheless, we had a blast while we read it. But One Day in December does have discussion questions, so I'm going to probably reach out to Tina. We're going to talk about those, and I don't want to have this particular clip to be too long because I feel like One Day in December needs its own moment. So I'm going to go ahead, get back to reading that, and then give you guys like a halfway point check-in.
Merry Christmas, friends. I hope that you guys are having the most amazing holiday. So I did finish One Day in December. I actually finished it days ago. The beat is so loud. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I actually finished it days ago. My camera just would not turn on. I wasn't able to update it. It's the holidays. I was busy. So I just did not get to give you guys a midpoint update. But I was talking about it with Tina and we really enjoyed it. We had very similar thoughts. This was a very good buddy read because it does have like reader's guide questions, which I absolutely loved. So we did answer a couple, but it was really, really cute. This was a really cute read. I gave it 3.5 stars last year. And this year I have bumped it up to a 4-star. I do believe it's a solid 4-star book. It can even be higher than that for some people. I do see why they give it a 5-star. However, it can never be a 5-star for me, but it's so weird because I would read it again. Like if this was a movie, I would watch it every year. I really would, even though you get so mad. I feel like you're on this massive emotional roller coaster and I believe that that's how it's supposed to be. But the reason I can never give it the 5 stars is because it's like, why did it have to be the best friend? I'm like, come on, Josie, that hurts my heart. It frustrates me. Like it just could have been any other woman, a coworker or a neighbor or I don't know, a friend from high school. Like I don't know, somebody she didn't even know, but the best friend is crazy. I love this book because although it's romance, it feels like contemporary fiction with romance. So I like books like that because there's something else going alongside the romance. So it's a major emphasis on friendships. And I love the friendship between Laura. Is it Laura? No, it's Lori. Lori and Sarah. Love their friendship. I love it so much. For Lori to have this secret from Sarah, it just bothers me because they're so close. And I think about like me and my best friend, I would not be able to keep this from her. I understand that like, yeah, it's a tough situation, but it's also like you knew more than anybody how much I loved Bus Guy. And if I just feel like if she would have told her like Jack is Bus Guy, they could have been like living happily ever after. And so yeah, I'm just like, I can't give it a 5 because of that. However, I do feel like each time I read it, I just discover so much more about the characters. You do fall in love with these characters. Another thing is like Jack, he's not like the best guy, but he's not like a bad guy. He just isn't one of those male characters that you're like in love with or head over heels for. However, he's real, he's flawed, he's human, he's vulnerable, he's kind of a mess. And so I do like that the characters in this book are very flawed. This is not a perfect, well put together romance. However, this is a very well written book. There's so much explored in the book. It even talks about grief and navigating grief. There's a highlight of karma, which like, oh my God, I even hate how Sarah finds out that Jack is Bus Boy. Like that part, but I get it. I can't go into it because I'm going to give spoilers. And I was going to do like a spoiler-free section and then a spoiler section, but I'm not. Just because I don't want anybody to get it spoiled. Like you just need to go into the book and enjoy the journey. So I'm just being very vague with my experience and my thoughts. The book also explores gratitude and learning to pivot. And you get to see her grow as she sets New Year's resolutions. There's Christmas vibes. Like I said, there's the friendship. There's ignoring signs in relationships. There's also finding love in unfamiliar places. The book explores fate and destiny, and it's really good. Oh, it's so good. And it is so well written. I just hate that it had to be the best friend. Like, I feel like that is what it is for me in this book. But overall, it's still a 4-star. And I bet you if I read it again next year, I'm going to give it like a 4.25. But because it's the best friend, I can just never give it a 5-star. But that's fine because it is Christmas. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start a new book, but I'm not going to film it. But this was one of the books that I wanted to read. I think I pulled it even as like my TBR, which I have not been doing good. With the books that I pulled, I think I've only read 2 or 3, or this will be the 3rd or 4th. I'm not sure. But I did have 6 books that no matter what I was going to read. And those 6 books I'm doing great with. So that's, I mean, I'm doing my best. It's December. It's busy. All we can do is our best. The kids did buy me a book for Christmas. It's so cute. So it is Dungeons and Drama. So excited to try this. So cute. It's very short. I think it's like a YA. Yeah, this bad boy is under 300 pages. I'm not in the mood for a romance since I just read a romance. I think this might have romance moments, but overall this is a fiction book. So I'm gonna go ahead and at least get it started today. See how far I get. And yeah, I don't think I got to show you guys the book that I got from Barnes when I went that one day. So I'll show you guys that and then we can be on our merry way. So I got Day One. It is a novel by Abigail Dean. I forgot it was blurred by Sherry LaPena. It's a chilling, thought-provoking read, and it is brilliant. It's a stunning and masterful mystery, a beautifully observed portrait of unthinkable tragedy and the love, hope, and despair that remain. Abigail Dean is a rare and very special storyteller, and this is by Chris Whitaker. I'm excited. Oh, and it says the book is going to open with a gripping moment of terror. Oh my God. Yeah, it sounded good, and it sounded like something I wanted to get up into. But anyway, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys are having the most amazing Christmas, and I hope that you guys are prioritizing self-care, and I will totally see you guys in the next one. Bye. Here I am at a car dealership buying Tristan a car for Christmas instead of reading. Let me make sure that is in the synopsis. I already got my happy place. Did it take away? It didn't take away because the book was very mid. I'm a hot mess today. This is why we're not getting any book updates. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.